Yes, indeed. And it's your turn this week.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you bringing?
Okay, so let me do a whole setup and then I'll get your opinion. So since the draft is in Pittsburgh, I did want to do a Steelers-themed one. So let me set the scene. The Steelers roster is actually pretty good. Their O-line problems, a thing of the past. They were top 10 in the offensive line last year. They have great offensive weapons, especially with the pickup of Michael Pittman and Rico Dowdle. They have already good tight ends on the roster in Washington and Frymouth. Washington is coming off injury. And then Warren and Metcalf are already there as well. Their defense is good, especially with the new additions to shore up the back end, which is a bit of an issue last year, in Briscoe and Jamal Dean, who was a cornerback I liked out of Tampa. And they are a run-first and defense-led team, and all they need is a quarterback. So I think the Steelers should trade interstate for Jalen Hurst. He has a cap hit of $31 million this year, which isn't that much, and he has no guaranteed money left after that. I think it would solidify the Steelers as the favourites in the AFC North this year. I think you've got McCarthy, head coach, who we already know can coach a good offense. Like his offense is always good. Hurts can move around in that division, which is important when you have some nasty edges coming at you, and Trey Hendrickson and Myles Garrett. He did have over 3,000 yards passing last year with 98 QBR. And the Steelers are unlikely as a team to ever be in the realm of drafting a top quarterback overall. It's very unlikely for them. So I just think there's not that much talent, as we talked about before we came on the show, in this draft. Why not trade your first round pick this year? And maybe they have 3/3 next year, maybe like 2/3 next year to get Jalen Hurts. That is my setup.
Well, they did have Justin Fields, who was that guy.
Oh, but Jalen Hurts way better than Justin Fields in terms of processing, passing.
It didn't really
but
work.
Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts is way better processing and operating an offense over Justin Fields.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think, was there somebody in the draft this year? Obviously, your man, but then he's just can't do anything else.
No.
No. So I'm kind of thinking, is there actually, without spending 31?
I also don't think the Steelers are good at developing quarterbacks. I don't think organizationally they value quarterback. I think it would be much better if you got a quarterback who's already has some experience coming in. I just don't think they're an organization that can take one of these young prospects and go to the promised land with them.
I mean, if you take Ben Roethlisberger out, they haven't had a decent developed quarterback in 25 years, if not more.
That's what I mean. I think you need to get...
So you go.
No, I was just going to say you need to get someone. It's just not going to work otherwise.
Whereas you've got the Packers, who just seem to be a quarterback machine. Like they just had 3 quarterbacks in like 40 years or something stupid. I know it's not that much, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think, and I've said this multiple times on the show, that Jalen Hurts has been massively done wrong by probably the fans of the Eagles and the Eagles players. And I think he would deserve a new place. It's just, is he willing to change? And is that the problem at Philadelphia at the moment, that he's just a one-trick pony? Can he actually change?
I don't think he needs... I think, because every time he's gone to the Super Bowl with the Eagles, it's when the Eagles have a great running game and a great defense. Steelers have that set up. They will pretty much consistently always have a good defense. They very much value the run and they put assets into the running game. So I just think it would be a good setup for Jalen Hurts. I think he can play in the weather as well, which is important because it's not warm and it's not called Heinz Field, but an Acrisure Stadium.
Yes.
During the winter months. And I think it would be a good move for everyone involved.
If that's what they wanted, though, I mean, I guess the hit would have been bigger, but Kyler Murray was kind of available.
Kyler Murray can't play in that weather, though.
Maybe
Kyler
not.
Murray's a stadium quarterback.
I mean, it's kind of like Tua, right? He couldn't play in the cold either.
No.
I wouldn't be adverse to that. I mean, would an interdivision rival I mean, would the Eagles do that? I mean, obviously we've seen the Browns and people like that do that sort of stuff, but that's a pretty unique ownership that is happy to trade into division. So that'll be really interesting. I would be all in supportive of it because, as I say, I think Hurts has been done dirty by the Eagles. He was what? Super Bowl MVP 2-3 years ago.
Yes, and he now actually should have been in the first Super Bowl he ever played, and he should have been Super Bowl MVP because he outplayed Mahomes by a long shot in that Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I think that would be very interesting. It's just whether the Eagles would trade into division. I think they're open to trade him. Would they trade him to the Steelers though? How much would that hurt?
I think it would be a good move. I also want to now ask you, if that was to happen, where are the Steelers now in terms of AFC? Because their roster is good. Their head coach is a proven head coach who does a good offensive scheme. Their defense, I can't see why that would suddenly fall off the wagon. They've put assets into it. They've done what they need to do on that side. Where does the Steelers, if they had Jalen Hurts, now sit?
Well, I think you've got to say that they would sit top, right?
Yeah.
Because one thing that Rodgers didn't have last year was any mobility, and you could tell he was 41, 42. You could just tell with the speed. I mean, he's a superior arm accuracy even at 42.
Oh, and processing 100%, yeah.
He is still superior in that position, in those traits rather, but
in that division,
you'd have to have them number one.
Yeah, because in that division 100%. you need to be able to maybe slightly outrun Myles Garrett for 2 steps so that you can throw the ball away.
Yeah, I mean, where would you put them? Would you agree with that they would be number one?
I think you'd have to put them, probably number one.
I would put them 1, the Ravens 2, the Bengals 3, and the Browns 4, because the Bengals.
For the AFC North, I would put them 1. I'm talking about whole AFC. Where do you put them?
The whole AFC. Sorry, I thought you just mentioned their division.
No, in the division, it's obvious that they're 1.
In the conference, I'd probably have them at 6.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have them much bigger than last year, because I think the teams that got into the playoffs last year, like the Broncos, the Patriots, they've got youth and they're going to be around for quite a few years.
Steelers are better than the Patriots. I would put the Steelers over the Patriots with Jalen Hurts.
Oh, well, I think the Patriots may struggle more this year because their schedule's going to hurt them. The Bills, obviously, a very aggressive offensive coach. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think the Bills, the Broncos, I don't know where the Chiefs are going to be this year. I can't really pick where they're going to be because I just don't know when Mahomes is coming back. I don't know what version of Mahomes is coming back. I mean, obviously, he's still going to be elite class, but is he going to be a bit like Lamar, though he's going to be hindered for pace? Because after a while, just all of the bashing just gets to you eventually.
I would have the Steelers. I would have them maybe 2 or 3.
Ooh. Who are you going to have as what?
I don't I'm just looking through the AFC now, and even then, again, just because I feel like I keep having to say this, the Broncos need to prove to me that they have a running game, and then I will put them first. But until they have a running game, it's a massive problem because you just stop the run, and Bo Nix is not a good enough quarterback to throw you to a Super Bowl. And then Bills, I don't know.
I find that interesting because with Bo Nix, the Broncos are in the Super Bowl. There's no way the Patriots win that game. And so,
I know, but then they get destroyed in the Super Bowl. Well, by the Seahawks.
Maybe. But they're a Super Bowl caliber team. So
are they a Super Bowl winning team? I don't know if Bo Nix.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, we were robbed, right? We were robbed, and we may never ever find out again. You know, you only get that close that many times, right? We may never know.
And then the Steelers just got running through better than all of the AFC South with Jalen Hurts because Texans' defense is amazing. Texans' offense, no idea. No idea. Colts, Daniel Jones coming off injuries, roster depleted quite excessively. Jags, potentially, but they actually lost a few key defensive players. And then Titans. They picked first overall last year.
Yes.
They're definitely better this year, and I would have them in playoff contention, but I wouldn't put them above a Jalen Hurts led Steelers.
No. I think in the AFC, the Bills are better. I think the Jags and the Texans and the Broncos and maybe the Chargers.
Chargers potential? Bills I don't, because the Bills defense is very much, the lack of defensive talent was hidden a lot by the fact that Sean McDermott's a good defensive coordinator. So I would greatly worry for the fact that you're going to have a massive drop off on the defensive side of the ball that I don't know if Josh Allen can make up for.
No, I mean, they keep saying, Jim Leonard, he's no slouch though, right?
No, but I think that will be an interesting one where the Bills come out. Yes. Yeah, and then Raiders.
No.
Yeah. Chargers. Chargers have actually lost their defensive coordinator, which was by far the best side of their team. So that will be interesting to see how they replace that.
I think the Raiders are going to be interesting, right? Because they're going to have a weak schedule, but then they're going to start with Kirk Cousins. Yeah, the Raiders are going to be interesting to see how they pick in the draft and who they get. They're still probably going to be the fourth best team in that division.
But I would feel very comfortable in saying that the Steelers would be playoff contenders with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback.
Oh, look, after the season they had last year, they were pretty much playoff contenders, right? So, with a younger, more agile quarterback, not as accurate, but
in a division that's not.
Nah.
The AFC North is not really there at the moment. It's not what it used to be.
But you look at it and you go, a division with Hurts, Lamar, Burrow. I will forget the Browns. I don't have to be nice to them now. We're not our team anymore. But how can that division be so average? You know what I mean?
It's because Bengals offense fantastic. Bengals defense so terrible that they drag the team below average. When you have what is stars on offense that you go.
That's a generational offense. That's like a generational offense, and it's being destroyed by owners and by a coach. I just still don't know how Zach Taylor's got a job. It's just.
And then the Browns are the Browns. And the Browns are the Browns. The Browns will always have one game in the season that you go, why did the Browns and how did the Browns win that? But they did. And they will always have one really random, very intense, very good game. And that's the Browns.
To me, I see one of two things happening this year with the Bengals. If they don't qualify for the playoffs again, Burrow demands a trade or Burrow retires.
It would be interesting. I think Burrow would probably demand a trade. What would be absolutely terrible, though, is he got traded to the Browns or something. Oh, my gosh.
Just out of brutal. You've got to have a no-trade clause, right? Otherwise, it's just such a danger that the Bengals just do a spiteful move like trading him there.
Or if he got traded to the Jets or something.
Steelers would be amazing.
Yes. Joe Burrow at the Steelers would be amazing.
Oh, that would be amazing.
But it's more likely that Jalen Hurts would move.
I would say so, yes. So that's a good pick, and that would be fascinating to see if that played out.
I would love it. I'd love it for the NFL. But also open up the NFC East as well.
Yes. It would be spicy as.
Mm-hmm. And I do actually think the Eagles GM has enough power that he could execute that in trading away your starting quarterback. Because Harry Roseman,
division rival, yeah.
Well, interstate rival, yeah.
But who do they then drop in a quarterback?
See, I think because you know how there's always those words about how they want to be a QB factory. I think they have a lot of faith in who they evaluate as talent, and that GM has a lot of power that I don't think there'd be. So you're sure this is what you want to do? Okay, execute it, and then he'll bring in someone else. He will have lined up someone else. Yeah. They have Andy Dalton.
The Red Rock, yeah. Sirianni, right? Poor if there's someone walking on hot coals this season.
Yeah.
The GM seems to like him, and the owner seems to like him. But the fans are so, to quote an earlier food type, Marmite on Sirianni. Half of them love him and half of them absolutely despise him.
What would be, sorry, sort of something very fun. What if the Eagles then trade for Joe Burrow?
Burrow.
Oh my gosh. That would be insane.
That would be spice.
I would love that so much. It would be so much fun. And they've
probably got the collateral to do it as well.
Oh, yeah. And then Burrow would be in the Super Bowl easy with that 100%. Eagles team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, wow. But
let's just move everyone around.
This trade is this draft is gonna be spicy because of the lack of talent. There's going to be trades and all sorts going on. I think we're going to see some crazy things happen.
Look, if Hurts ends up with the Steelers, I feel like the Steelers need to give us something.
Yes. We need to get free season tickets to the Steelers.
Something.
For sort of foreshadowing this happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
Neither of us support them, but we'll take it.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Pittsburgh looks like a lovely city. I'll happily go there.
Oh, cold. There again. Yeah, there's a lot of cold cities in America.
Yes, so, Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. If you are not watching football on the West Coast, you are cold.
Yeah, well, even Seattle gets cold.
Yeah, it does. And it rains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, there we go. That was Monday Night Showdown, and that is our show. So, as always, don't forget get on those social medias, especially YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and give us a follow and a subscribe, and you'll be the first to get all of our new upcoming content. So that was our show. My name's Darran Lees.
I'm DT.
And
Enjoy
we'll be
night.
back again next Monday. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to get more great content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you'll be first to get access to everything. Anyway, for now, we'll see you at the next down.